Hello, people. What is going on? Welcome back to E20's Home TV. What a night last night was. What a moment that I will never forget for a hell of a long time. And I do hope that come the end of the season, we are safe and we are away from the danger and a certain team is involved in it. I'm going to talk about that last night. I'm going to talk about the Fulham game, also the reaction to that, and also looking towards the Brentford game. And we've got a big game against Brentford coming up Monday night, FA Cup. And anyone who wants to come on, by all means, come on, have you say, today. Um, Last night was a big result for us. Like, we needed to keep these teams close together. I never really believed that Palace could be a side that could get dragged into it. Really didn't. I always thought that they would get enough wins to get away, and that sort of handicap sort of start where other teams were in a worse situation than them. But and this is a big but. This is one. Spurs. Spurs are in shit, mate. Big time. And O'Hara last night was absolutely hilarious, mate. I was loving it last night. Absolutely loving it. I've never laughed so much watching TalkSport. That was one of the best generational talk sports that I've ever watched in my life. Like, they're raring with each other. O'Hara was eating some humble pie. He's eating some humble pie, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to say it, he's a smug prick. And he thinks that Spurs are better than what they actually are, when they're not. They are a side that are a sort of top end, but not as good as what they think they are. Do you know what I'm saying? And what we've done, we've put pressure on these. So we've got to look at ourselves and say, you know what? We've done a really good job in the last 2 months, considering where we was come the 4th of January after the Nottingham Forest game. It was over, wasn't it? Let's be real. We all thought we was down, and the spark was lit at Spurs away. Funny enough, like, at Spurs away was the moment where West Ham went, boom, here we go. It's time to kick into gear, and that's exactly what they've done. Exactly what they've done. They've done that. I thought Wednesday night was gritty, but it proved something to me, and it proved something to everyone else, that we can win games ugly. We can win games, nick a goal, shut up shop, and really try and see it out. The longer the Spurs meltdown carries on, the better it is for us. The only fear I've got is the next two games. They've got Liverpool and Forest. If they lose both of them, they might sack this geezer, have an international break, come back, and then they've got 7 games to save their season. If Harry Redknapp ends up at Spurs, I don't want anyone to ever mention about him coming in to save West Ham ever again in their lives. Right? I'm not a big fan of Redknapp. People go back to the 90s era and go, oh, look what it was like in the 90s. Fuck all that. I'll think about the here and now. And Redknapp's a Spurs lover, mate. Always has been, always will be. So, yeah, I'm not on that vibe with him. But when I look at the situation with us, there's one player that comes into like the equation where I look at it and think he's the guy that's come in and changed this, and that's Axel Disasi, mate. Disasi's come in and he has been a mint. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of people were negative on him when he come in, and this is the one thing we've got to learn as a fan base. Yeah, is that we've got to give players a chance. Yeah, and we've also got to give players a chance who are not playing elsewhere. I think there's 2 genuine things that you can say about Axel Disasi since he's come in. One, his professionalism. Right, he wasn't playing at Chelsea. He wasn't even in the squad. He was in the like the bomb squad. Like, he was like cast aside and said, like, you go and play over there. Like, you're not good enough to play for the big boys. And kept himself fit, kept himself active, kept himself sort of alert for a move. He comes to us and he's looked fucking brilliant. He's looked truly brilliant, and he's looked good in a moment where West Ham were absolutely shit. The way Spurs are playing right now feels like the way West Ham were playing at the sort of beginning of Nuno's reign. Do you know what I mean? Getting into situations and then giving it away. Exactly what it was like last night when I watched that game. So, you know, it is what it is. Let's see what West Ham fans got to say. Need to give manager time too. We've got rid of managers too quickly recently and want them gone early. Yeah, but when he's losing against Wolves, what do you want me to say? Do you know what I'm saying? For me, Nuno's got a job to do. Yeah, and that's the way I'm going to treat him. I'm going to treat him like he's got a job to do. Do your job, keep us in the league. At the minute, the job is only half done. We've got to these teams now. We've got to overtake these teams, and once we overtake these teams, we'll be fine. I always said this on here, yeah. And people, amount of people that come to me and said to me, Jay, like you're talking utter shit on E20, mate. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And they would explain to me that they say, it ain't that going to happen. We're going down. And what it is, these are younger, like blokes. These are geezers in their sort of mid 20s, early 30s. I'm nearly 40, right? I know what I'm fucking talking about. Do you know what I'm saying? I know when I believe something, I will back it. And I will back it all the way to the end. And I always said that West Ham can do this, but as I say, the job is only half done now. Do you know what I mean? Because what they're doing up in North London right now is falling apart. We need to not concentrate on them, even though last night I was shameless. Right? I was literally posting and posting and posting on X. And one of the best ones was the only Falls and Horses one about them going to Hull and back. And yeah, it's got over, I think it's like 500,000 interactions or something, which is mad. But you know, when it comes to us, I, th- I think we're gonna do it. I generally do. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I was saying the other day, right? When we lost against Liverpool, there was people in the chat who were going, "Oh, it's over. It's over. Right? We've got to cut that shit out and all." That's another thing we've got to cut out. Is thinking it's over before it's actually done. It was never over at Liverpool, right? It was just a ground that we never win. And if David's in the chat, David knows who he is. He's in the WhatsApp group. He said it 37 games in a season, and that one extra game is Liverpool away where we never get nothing. Like we never get nothing at that place. But you know what? On Wednesday night, everything just come together on Wednesday night. Everything just come together. The away fans on Wednesday night were absolutely unreal. Like I mean, like literally fucking like blew me away. Right, you could hear them. And I know like Craven Cottage is a bit of like old school, closed in. You can sort of generate the atmosphere like that. But the away fans is another thing that's going well with us because everyone's on this now. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't. I keep hearing people saying to me, "Oh, what about the summer when we lose players and things like that?" Fuck the summer. Do you know what I mean? Because no one gives a shit about the summer right now. Right, it's all about the now. Right, I do not want to see West Ham in the Championship. Far from it. I really don't. I want to see West Ham in the Premier League because that's where West Ham belong. But a team that I would love to see in the Championship is Spurs. Because I do think they need to eat a bit of humble pie, I'm afraid. I think they need to be humbled big time. Because I think they think that they're better than they actually are. And I've had them. I've had them on here. Yeah. When we've lost the game against them, they come out of the woodwork like unbelievably. Yeah. They criticise the club. They criticise me. They criticise me. Like even in the summer, I got clipped up because of my passionate rant about Sullivan and what he was doing to the club, and I broke into tears. And the reason why I done that is because I feel the pain in this club under Sullivan's reign. Yeah. One thing that I'm really glad about, really, really glad about, is people have taken this over now. Other channels are on board with it. Other channels are dealing with it. I don't say fuck all about it now. I don't know if anyone notices because I don't have to. Because the way I look at it is, I've been banging on about this for the last 5 years. I've run out of energy with keep banging on about it, and I'm going to let other people do their time on it. But when it comes to us, in this moment, one thing we have also got is experience. Well, we've got experience in this moment, right? We've been there, we've seen it, we've done it. We've experienced relegation dogfights. We know how to win games in a relegation dogfight. We know how to win games where we're not expected to win. And this is what I've also been saying for a while: is can West Ham win games of football when you're not expecting them to win? Like, for instance, not a lot of people expected us to go to Fulham on Wednesday night and win that game, and we did. If West Ham can sort that out and go to places like Brentford, Newcastle, Villa, Palace, and win a game or two, then we're going to be fine. It's as simple as that. Do you know what I'm saying? The only negative with us is that where we're such on a high, I don't want us to go back down a level before we have to go back up at another level, if that makes sense. In regards of if we get a defeat against Manchester City, I don't want the fan base going into one saying, "Oh, it's over, it's this and that." And if Spurs or Forest or Leeds get a result, then everyone's going back to square one again. This is going to be the long game. I think this is going to go down to the last game of the season. I actually think it could come down to Leeds, like on the last game of the season, and one of three teams could go down: Spurs, West Ham, Leeds. And whatever way it goes, then it is what it is. But we're in there, and that's what we need to do. Like 2 months ago, we had to get near these teams to put pressure on them. What we've done in the last 2 months is remarkable, really, when you think about it. Now, there's many reasons for that. Maybe why West Ham have turned the corner. Like I asked you in the chat, why do you think we've turned the corner? Now, Lucas Paqueta leaving his club proves to me that he was a problem. Simple as that. And I won't have it no other way. He was a problem at the club. And West Ham getting rid of him, bringing in Castellanos and Pablo might be one of the smoothest moves West Ham's done for a hell of a long time, because they addressed the issue. They got rid of the player. They recycled the money back in, even though they don't invest no fucking money into his club. And they brought in two players that are actually going to benefit West Ham moving forward with energy and sort of desire. And two players that might be up for the fight. Whereas we had a player who wasn't up for the fight. I also think the signing of Axel Disasi has been a revelation. That man's passion for this club, and he's on loan at this club. Like the goal that Crescencio Summerfield scored, and his emotion come out, like running down there chasing fucking Somerville. Like there's a lot of good things that's happened, and that's took time. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think with us, we've got a bit of an advantage over Spurs and Forest, West Ham. West Ham have got a big advantage on this one, yeah, because Nuno's been there longer than two managers, and he will. These managers who have just come into their clubs, Pereira, Igor, Tudor, yeah, they've got a problem where they've got to get results now. Whereas I've always said Nuno had to get results before it was too late, right? Nuno's getting the results now. He's just got to maintain this. He maintains this form from now to the end of the season. West Ham are going to be fine. West Ham will be fine. And I'm more hopeful than I've ever been. Obviously, there's an element of doubt with me slightly that if we get an injury to Somerville, injury to Fernandez, injury to Disasi, it could go the other way. But one thing I've looked at in the April fixtures is we've got a lot of time between these games, a hell of a lot of time. And when you look at the Wolves game on the 11th of April, and then we play 10 days later against Palace on the Monday night, like this is good for West Ham. Like you go and play Wolves on the Friday night, you have maximum sort of rest time. Like if it was me, if we go and beat Wolves on that Friday night, I'll tell the boys, right, take them away for 4 days somewhere warm, like warm weather training or something, and then bring them back for the Palace game on the Monday night. Like that April period will be the one where if we're going to stay up, we have to get minimum 7 points out of it. So it's a Wolves win, Palace win or draw, Everton win or draw. We do that, we're staying up. It is that simple. I've got faith in West Ham that they can do it. And the collapse of these teams around us at the minute is so good. Like there's a lot of people saying that Spurs will go down, right? But knowing them, they will just about get away with it. That's the problem. They will just about get away with it. But let's hope they do go down. Let's be honest. Right, let's get to a few of your comments. Let's get to 2 up, 2 down hammers. That game was brilliant to watch last night. Tottenham are done. Yeah, they're done, mate. But if Redknapp goes in there, I don't ever want to see anyone say about Redknapp again. I know that for certain. The fans have been immense. Almost wish all our remaining games were away. Well, you know what? We've got some big games away from home, right? And if you put it like this, yeah, West Ham have got the more winnable games away from home. Villa, Palace, Brentford, Newcastle. Like they're all more winnable away games than the home games. The home games we've got Arsenal and Manchester City. Arsenal, Manchester City, Everton, Leeds, and that's it. I think there's someone else in there that I might have missed, but Wolves. Wolves is the other one. So you know what? That there are more winnable games away from home, but you know what I mean. Ian's saying Spurs won't go down. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I don't know. I look at it like this. I can see it with them. Yeah, their fan base is just imploded, right? And the problem is with them, right, which is the difference to us, is two things. Number one, they've never been in this situation. They've never been in a relegation dogfight where they are fighting to stay in the league and they don't know how to approach games. Whereas West Ham have been in this situation many a times. So we've got the experience, we've got the know-how how to sort of set up in games, etc. Spurs, something Jason Cundy said last night on Talk Sport, and I make him 100% right. Arrogancy. A lot of arrogant people in that sort of camp. They think that they're better. Like he even said to O'Hara last night, "You're arrogant," and it sort of offended O'Hara, who I thought was like, he's such a child, mate, when it comes to like getting trolled, like absolute like plum. Really, if I'm being honest, they are arrogant because they think they're better than what they are. It's like, for instance, last night they lose against Palace. Palace played really well. First thing that comes out of O'Hara's mouth is, "Oh, how we lost against Palace? Like Palace won like the FA Cup, I think it was last year. Do you know what I mean?" And things like that. So it's a lot of disrespect, and they have gave us the boost. They don't realise it, but they was the team that give us the boost, right? Because if we would have lost against them back in January, I think we would have been gone. Like if that game and that goal that Callum Wilson scored really has sort of defined it for me. Like if we draw that game 1-1, we're you know we're gutted because we played okay in that game, right? But to go and win the game the way we did, last minute of game, wait, right in front of the away fans, perfect, absolute perfect. Can we win? Let's get to this comment here from Jazza. Can we win 3-7 from Villa, Leeds, Wolves, Palace, Everton, Brentford, Newcastle? I think we have beat Palace, one of Leeds and Wolves, and one of Villa and Newcastle. We can definitely beat Wolves. I think the Leeds game come the end of the season, if we're out of it by any stretch, then that's a winnable game. I'm the Brentford one. People think that's a tough game, but come the end of the season, if Brentford are sitting 11th in the league or 10th in the league, and they can't qualify for conference, or they can't qualify for anything, then that game becomes like a free hit for us, big time. The Newcastle away game, that's the same rules apply on that. Final home game of the season for them. If Newcastle are sitting sort of in a situation again when they're ninth, they can't go up, they can't go down. We've got more to fight for than they have in that game. The Arsenal game's interesting for me. The Arsenal game is interesting. Now, obviously, we've got Man City first, right, coming up, obviously, next Saturday. And that one, I expect West Ham to be up very, very hard to beat. I expect him to go with a low block and not try and outplay Man City at the LS because we get destroyed. But if we could manage to get a point out of that game, Arsenal could win the league by the time they get to us. Right, and that's no like when you work it out, that's no like given. If Arsenal go to the Etihad, don't lose that game. Arsenal could be coming to the LS on the 9th of May, and they might not need to win that game. Yeah, which benefits us. So, we'll see what happens. Fuck O'Hara. I'll have to call in and ask him why they handed their manager out after winning a cup. Fuck them anyway. We still need to overtake them because they ain't relegated yet. I completely agree, mate. I completely agree. Let's get this. Spurs were 13 points clear of us before we beat them. Amazing. That goal was big, man. That goal was big. Like, it's big for so many reasons. Let's be honest. That Callum Wilson goal, and let's be real, West Ham should have been out of this long time ago. But we should have beaten Manchester United. We should have made sure that we didn't lose against Chelsea. Do you know what I'm saying? The Liverpool game, I look at the Liverpool game every year and say, if there's a game that I would want West Ham to play at the start of the season first, it's Liverpool away, because we just don't win. Right? We just don't do nothing there. So, you know, it is what it is on that. But I'm optimistic. Obviously, I'm still a little bit nervous, but I think we will do it. And I've been saying it for a while. I think we're going to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? I think the way Nuno's starting to get the best out of some of these players. Do you know what I mean? Mateus Fernandes is like special, isn't he? Fernandes is very, very good. Crescencio Somerville has been revelation. Like, since the turn of the year, I don't know what's happened. I don't know whether it's the personnel that's come in, or like the style of play that we're playing now, or I don't know what it is, but he just can't stop scoring goals and being like a major sort of impact player for us, because he's affecting West Ham right now. Now, someone says there, right, Bowen. I'm not going to go in on Bowen, but he hasn't been great, has he? Let's be real. And he's been a sort of man that he's been there, but he's been there in sort of like a flicker of a light. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he'd do something like really good, and you remember that, but the rest of the game he'd do nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? He works hard, and his work rate's very, very good. You can't knock his work rate for West Ham. That can't be questioned. But end product with him has been like shit, if I'm being honest. But do you know what? In one way, it's a good thing, because if he does get going, then we are definitely staying up. It's that simple. Like, if he gets going, if Somerville gets going, you know, it will be like, we'll be fine. One person that I can't wait, right? I can't wait for this. And if Spurs go down, we all know who it's going to be. I want you to put it in the comment section. Who am I talking? Who am I thinking about right now when it comes to Spurs and West Ham related? Right? Who's the one person who says only Spurs? If they go down, the West Ham Twitter army and the West Ham fans will go straight in on him straight away, when he decided that he wanted to go to Spurs because it was only Spurs. Someone put it there brilliantly. Judas, yes, Mohamed Judas is the guy that I'm talking about. I see a clip on X, funny enough. When was it? Yesterday. And that video keeps going round of him when the doctor has the sort of like reading his heart rate and all that. It says, "Oh, it's beating Spurs" or some shit. And yeah, I will be there. Do you know what I mean? I'm packed up. I'm ready to go. I've got the clips ready. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Now I'm going to ask all yous a question in the chat, and smash a like on the video. I've got 79 of you in. I really appreciate it as well. Who do you think will go down? Not who you want to go down, but who do you think will go down? And you can even include us in that, right? Because we are involved in this and all. For me, like, firstly, I think Leeds are not out of this, but Leeds have got more favourable fixtures than the rest of the sides, right? I think Nottingham Forest have got Spurs, they've got Burnley, they've got someone else in there. I can't remember. They've got Bournemouth last game of the season, right? Whereas Bournemouth could be a side come last game of the season, but they might not need anything. Another one who could be on the beach. Now, who do you think will go down in the end? Now, people are saying Spurs. What we got? Let's get to Jazza. James, imagine if Bowen scores a last-minute winner versus Leeds and sends Spurs down the celebration, sitting on a chair. Do you know what? That that will be art, ladies and gentlemen. Read that, people. That will be. Imagine that. I'll tell you what. Imagine this. Yeah, before I get to your comments on who's favourable to go down. Think Prague. Yeah, think Bowen running through. Yeah, up against the Leeds goalkeeper. He puts the ball in the back of the net. We win the game. Spurs get relegated by a point. Trust me, if you thought Prague would have been unbelievable, that will go up about 1,000%. Because not only will we stand the Premier League, we will send them down. It'll be it'll be one of them days, people. It'll be one of them days. Don't go to work on the Monday. That's what I'll be saying. She's on that 100% because it'd be a good one. It's tough to call at the moment with 9 games left. It is tough, mate. I must admit. Well, I looked at the bookies odds last night, and they've got Spurs second favourites. They've still got us favourites at 6-4, to get relegated. Forest are third favourites, and obviously Leeds are outside of the pack. So it is a tough one to call. On form right now, Spurs are going, but the only thing that Spurs have got in their favour is that they've got the games and they've got that point to get out of it. I think the moment they drop into the relegation zone, then we will know. That's like, do you know what I mean? We will know, but I don't think we will know right now with them because they're a sort of side that will nab a win or two from somewhere. They will pull a win out of their arse somewhere and they will get away with it. If they do get away with it, then yeah, it'd be unbelievable, really. Like I look at us right now, we're the most informed side in the bottom six. Right. I look at us, we've lost what, 2 games in 10, I think it is. We're scoring goals, we're keeping clean sheets. We look like a side that shouldn't even be in the bottom half, but the way we're playing at the minute. The only fear with me when it comes to West Ham is injuries with West Ham. But I think when you sort of sit down and you go through the dates of each game that we're playing and the rest periods that we've got, everything like that is in our favour. We play before teams on more than we play against teams like after the event. So come when we play Wolves on the Friday night, we go and win. These teams have got to put performances on the Saturday and Sunday because they know West Ham are there. Do you know what I mean? We've got a lot going for us, but the only thing I worry about is if we pick up an injury to one of our key players. Do you know what I mean? Because right now, I would probably say the best team that West Ham have got currently right now is a 4-3-3. Yeah. And I would probably say that Magassa coming in and Wilson going on the bench that's our best sort of starting 11. Do you know what I mean? Like the back four, Disassi and Tadibo. And I'm gonna shout Tadibo out and I thought he was mustard the other day. Like, and listen, you guys have followed me on this channel for a long time. Yeah, I criticised the fuck out of him after that Leeds game. Right. I called him all sorts of things, mate. And one thing I can hold my hands up and say, you know what, I've got to be a bit humble on this, is that he's come back from like the brink. It's been unbelievable. So yeah. Right, let's have a look, see what you're all saying. How many changes do you think we will make for the Brentford game? Interesting, really. I think he'll bring Mavropanos in. I think he will bring Kyle Walker Peters in. Um, I think he'll change the defence around a little bit. Is he going to bring Max Kilman in? That's another thing. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't want Max Kilman in there. Freddie Potts will be back. So I think he'll let Freddie go and play. It'd be interesting with the front line because I think Bowen. I'll start with Traore up front. I'll start with Traore and Somerville and go with Wilson up front. Castellanos, I'd let him come on like with Bowen. If the game's not going our way, I think what Nuno's got to do is he's just got to play the long game here. In this game, he's got to go right, set up to be able to beat and try and beat Brentford in the last 25 minutes of the game. That's what I would do. But I agree with what PA and Jack says there. Magassa in, I think bring him in and all. Yeah, like I'd make changes to it. Do you know what I'm saying? And do you know what? On Monday night, I'll be doing a watch along on it. Yeah, and I'll be doing the full shebang again. If we go out the cup, I'm not going to lose no sleep over it. I generally not. Right. I think the cup has been another major positive for West Ham. I really do. I think the cup, like winning the games in the cup. And do you know what? going and beating Brentford on Monday night will show that we can beat Brentford. And when we do play them at the back end of the season, that could benefit us and all. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm I'm confident. I'm confident on Monday, but I'm not, I'm not really fussed either way. If we go through, then great. If we go out, it is what it is. Do you know what I'm saying? Uh, Andy says Pablo back. Well, basically, he's not back for Brentford. I don't think they're going to bring him back for the City game, but they're going to try and bring him back for the Villa game away. One thing with West Ham, what I don't want him to do, and I don't want him to do this, is rush this geezer back. That's the one thing I don't like. I would, if it was me personally, I'd rather wait until the Wolves game where he could have 2 weeks rest there, right? And then you bring him back for the Wolves game on the 11th of April. That's the one for me where I look at it and think, do that. That's the move. Go from there. Um, I don't want us to rush these players back when we don't need to, right? Because what it is, if we're not adrift now. Do you know what I mean? We're level. So all we've got to do is match their scores or better their scores than these teams above us. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, the next two games are tough, like City and Villa, right? So we're going to have to, against City, I'm not expecting nothing from West Ham. Right, I need West Ham to surprise me in this one. So, but you know what? I see Forest the other day playing them, and I thought, you know what? If we're at home, and that game's a Saturday night kickoff and all, so it can be done. Definitely, it can be done. What other comments we got here? Um, Picture this: last game of the season, Spurs 18th, us Leeds 3 points ahead of them. We agreed to play walking football and take a point. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine. I remember seeing that. That actually happened in the lower leagues. I can't remember who it was. There was a game in the lower leagues where two sides were playing each other at the end of the season. They only needed a point, and they literally passed it like to each other in the back line for about 10, 15 minutes. Like nothing was happening. And he actually got pulled up by the FA because it could look like match fixing basically. Do you know what I mean? That you're fixing the match. So yeah, imagine that, a bit of walking football. Uh, let's have a look. Forest have shown us that we can get a point against City. I sort of agree on that. I really do. Um, City, City are a weird side though. They don't play well against relegated threatened teams. Do you know what I mean? They've been struggling against like relegation threatened teams. So coming to us on that Saturday night, and that, do you know what? That's a weird time. Weird time that is. Saturday night, 8 o'clock kickoff. Like that's gonna be, you know, a night game. It's perfect for West Ham. If West Ham are gonna get something out this game, you don't want this game as like 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday afternoon because people a night game. I feel like West Ham get up for these night games. West Ham are more sort of hopeful in these night games. Like we always seem to turn up. Manchester United, we turned up. Even against Chelsea, I know we lost the game, but we played brilliant against Chelsea, like really well, and somehow we fucked it up ourselves. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see. Let's get to Dell's comment. Mav, Tadibo, Sassy, Wan-Bissaka, Juve, Suchek, Fernandez, Tatibo, and Somerville, Canter, the shit out of that. Yeah, yeah. Let's get this one. West Ham are more awake at night. Fucking are, mate. They really are. They really are. Which is good. It is good. But I just think, why do you guys think that West Ham have turned the corner all of a sudden, though? Because the way we have done this has been it's been pretty impressive. Like I'll be honest, like, and I'm not a fan of Nuno. I'm just not. I just look at him sometimes and I worry about him. I think the emergence of this assistant coach, Paco, has sort of changed the game a little bit for West Ham. I generally do believe that. Like, I think it has changed West Ham's mindset. I think the mindset has changed. The mentality has definitely changed, right? Whereas there would be times before when West Ham would be playing aside and we know we've got to go for the third because we can't defend. and he'll try and shut the game down. And I think he's learning Nuno, because I noticed it on Wednesday night. The moment West Ham got into that sort of 90th minute, they was going towards the corner flag. Whereas against Manchester United, they were trying to score the second. Do you know what I mean? And they should have used their brains. So West Ham are learning. They're learning on the job, really, and they're learning from their mistakes. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's get to a few of your comments. Let's have a look. New signings and not relying on the kids now. I don't know. Like, not relying on the kids. I think Scholes was doing all right up until that fuck up that he had. Do you know what I'm saying? I agree with this comment. Where is it? Has it gone? Paco has made a huge impact. He has, mate. That's the impact that he's made. And what it is, he's been like a positive impact. And I feel like he's getting whatever they're doing in training in regard to Somerville, like, is working. Obviously, for how good Somerville's been, Bowen's been not as good. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm not. It's an hard one with me, because I think Bowen, I know it's in there. Yeah, it only takes a moment for him to sort of come out and score a goal. Like, for instance, if it comes to Monday night, Brentford, and he don't want to go against Brentford, mind. If he turns up against Brentford and he scores a couple of goals, then he's going to be buzzing, right? The one thing is now, from the West Ham point of view, well, from my point of view, really, is I'm looking forward to these games. I'm starting to believe, like, every time West Ham are playing, right, I'm like, yeah, right, I'm up for this tonight. I'm up for this one. And over that Christmas period, it was fucking hard. Like, I mean, really hard. When we played Brighton in that period, Fulham, Wolves away. Right, going to Wolves away and losing the way we did, and how that wasn't 10-0, I don't know. Right, it was only 3. And then you got the likes of, like, the Forest game. Whereas the Forest game, I think everyone knew on that Forest game that we was gone. Right. I am going to get to someone in a minute, yeah, who's been an absolute prick on TikTok, right? I'll tell you this. But we're in there, and other teams are worried. I don't think these teams, like your Forests, your Spurs, go and sack their managers if West Ham are 10 points adrift. Right? I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I think West Ham have done this to these teams. West Ham have put the pressure on these teams, and their arseholes are starting to fall out left, right, and centre. Now, there is a man on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. His name, he's the Doctor. Anyone who knows who the Doctor is, go and put the Doctor on TikTok, and he's been coming at West Ham fans for a while now. He's a Tottenham fan, yeah. He's all white teeth and baseball cap. Is he trying to be like me? He will never be like the fat man. I will say that. But he's been giving it so much lip over the last few weeks with West Ham, right? When we beat them, he was saying that it doesn't matter because you're going to get relegated. And then every week that's gone past, yeah, it's got worse. Now, I'm going to show you this clip, yeah, because obviously people are going to say, Doctor who, right? I'll just see it in there, right? But you might not be able to see it because I don't want to get done for copyright, but it doesn't mean to say I can't play the fucking thing. Now, I put it on social media last night and it got nearly like 100,000 views on it. So, we're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen, right? This is the man's reaction, right, to being 3-1 down last night, right? So you take a look at it.
Crystal Palace 3 time. What a fucking disgrace you are, aren't you? Biggest disgraces in football. Mickey Van der Ven, why don't you fuck off? I told you about your positional sense. And look what you've gone and done, you doggy piece of shit. And them owners, how much more do you need to ruin a football club for greed? All for fucking greed. Ain't you got enough yachts and mansions back home? What about putting players on the pitch? 90 quid a ticket for this? 90 quid. You couldn't give them away. These people saying to me, you're not going tonight. You got to be normal.
Right, that was him last night at half time. I had to post it. Sorry, Doctor, but you start disrespecting the claret and blue man, the fat man will come after you, mate. Trust me, 100%. Right, but there is one here where he slags off West Ham, right? This
Message for West.
right, I'm gonna go to the start. Right, he was slagging off West Ham, right? And one thing you don't do is slag off the fucking claret and blue. If I hear it, I'm gonna fucking respond, right? So this is this plum after we had beat them, and he's trying to justify it that it doesn't matter because West Ham get run all over London or something. Yeah, so here we go.
A message for West Ham fans. I don't know why you're celebrating today. You're still getting relegated to the Championship. You ain't going to catch Forest or Leeds. You got no fucking chance. And we're all going to party at the end of the season when you get relegated. Yeah? That's what you fucking deserve. And secondly, when you go to the Championship, you're going to get run all over London by Millwall. Because Millwall run you, don't they? Let's be honest. It's all in the history books. Millwall run West Ham. So that would be a double whammy. Relegation, and Millwall will be running you in the Championship.
Now that was him right after the game, yeah, when we beat him, yeah. Now I'm going to show you one more clip of this plum. I am because on E20 Zone TV, you start wanting to come and do that. It's Rich says it's rage bait. Why do you watch that shit? Because you don't disrespect West Ham, and when you start rage trying to get a reaction out of us, then we can spin it around on him. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to show you something right now. Yeah, where it's on here. Where is it? Yeah, and it was of the other night. Basically, what happened was when we beat Fulham, the old doctor, like he literally covers every game, right? So fair play to him. He tries his best. Right? He tries his best, and he was getting the raving ump because West Ham had just beaten what was it? West Ham just beaten Fulham. Where can I find it? Because he hides what it is. He hides his shit, and what it is, you can't really find him sometimes. Let's get to it. Right, here we go. Because his accounts get closed down. But where are we? Right, we're here. Right, here we go.
Nil West Ham 1. Fucking West Ham. Fucking West Ham won this tonight. I'll be fucking correct. There's no way Fulham should be losing to these. It's just been done on purpose. It's got to be a fucking sideshow or a pantomime. They won tonight. It's all against Spurs, I'm telling you. And to top it off, Arsenal go and win. Fortunately, how did they win that? Because they're the most boring team in the country. And City draw. Yeah, can't get any better, can it? West Ham done this. Tottenham, you need to win. When are you going to wake up? You're in a relegation, they're behind you now. Grip yourselves tomorrow. You got to beat Palace. We will be in stock. I'm in stock. Fucking West Ham and Somerville again. How did Fulham not getting it?
Somerville again, baby.
Penalty. I'm sick of football. I've had enough of football. It's the worst season in history. Why did they have midweek football as well? You didn't need midweek football. My weekends are bad enough. Now you're throwing in midweek football to ruin me win midweeks as well. I'm a fucking couple. Tottenham, you better sort this out, mate.
Honestly, right? When you go through social media, right? If you need a good laugh, then go on there because it is a fucking good laugh. But it's not rage bait. He's genuinely wants to see West Ham go down. He's like, you know, like when you say a proper Tottenham fan, right? He's one of them people that hate Arsenal, hate West Ham United, right? That's what it is, right? Now, I've got mates who are Tottenham fans, and they're all right. But there's some people, and I'll never forget a video that a geezer was doing. He's on TikTok, funny enough. East London home and away. No, East London. I can't think what his fucking tag is. But he was at the West Ham Spurs game at White Hart Lane, and a Spurs fan went up to him right? He wasn't even doing nothing, right? He's just like filming live, yeah. And they went, this geezer, this Spurs fan was with his like daughter, I think, says, "Oh yeah, enjoy Southampton next year. Enjoy Southampton," like trying to take the piss. And like Harry kept his cool, right? He's very good. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, they are ones to try and wind up, but if they do go down this year, right? I hate to see what's going to be like in every West Ham channel. I genuinely do because I think everyone will come out on that one. Gio will definitely have something to say about it. Nicky Hawkins will definitely say something about it. Dan Lawless will definitely 100% have something to say about it. Nick from Claret Blues probably have something to say about it. There'll be so many people will be saying that if Spurs do go down, it'd be epic. It'd be epic motion. And there'll be people like that need to be humbled at the end of the day. A good humbling never goes amiss. So, you know, it is what it is. Right, let's get to a few of your comments. Be even better to see them go down and take the proper piss out of the Spuds. Yeah, you know. What we got here? Let's get to Richard. I ain't worried about them. I'm worried about us. If they do go down, then they can have it. Don't worry about us, Rich. Trust me. I've backed West Ham with quite a lot of dough, right? And I've been saying it for ages. We're going to be fine. Trust in me. If there is a God, the Spurs will get relegated. Do you know what I'm saying? Uh, Honestly, I think they're gonna. I think they get away with it by the skin of their teeth. Wouldn't surprise me if, just for argument's sake, we need to beat Leeds. We go and beat Leeds. They win against Everton. I think it's their last game of the season. They go and do that, and we actually keep them in the league. That's what it'd be, because it could there could be a situation where it becomes us or Leeds. We obviously want to stay up. We go and beat Leeds final game of the season, or Leeds go and beat us final game of the season, and they get away with it. So you know, imagine we actually go and beat City next week. They haven't looked great lately. I reckon we can get the points. I think if we get a point against City, it's great. If we get 3 points, then wow, like that's like then we've definitely turned the corner, and we can go into the Villa game. I always said that West Ham have to come out of these 4 games: Liverpool, Fulham, City, and Villa with at least minimum 4 points. I didn't think we'd get anything against City or Liverpool. Now, if we go and beat City and we end up getting 2 wins in a row, and then you go into the Villa game with no fear, then you're talking. Then you really are talking. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, could be us or Spurs last game of the season. Yeah. Let's get to this comment. Interesting. Unless Sullivan sells, we could both go down next season. Do you know what? I'm going to speak about this because I haven't spoken about it. Obviously, everything's been going on in regards to the protest. So much has happened recently in regards to the protest. People having stuff taken off from at Anfield. There was something else that happened with banners and things like that. Um, the problem is that I've always said is West Ham have to be a Premier League club, right? Because if we go down, I don't think we're an easy sort of sell in the Championship because we've got a lot of problems with being in the Championship. There's no guarantee that West Ham can automatically go down and bounce back straight away. Right, it ain't going to happen. Right, even though that from next season, there's going to be 2 more playoff spots there for teams in the Championship. Nevertheless, I think we've got to be a Premier League club. The moment West Ham are safe this year, whether it's the last game of the season or over the next 5 games, right, we've got to get him out the door. Yeah. And the protests are causing an effect, but they ain't going to make no moves. Like I've seen a lot of stuff on different channels where they keep saying about Brady's going to be leaving. I don't believe it. I genuinely don't believe it, right? I don't believe that she's going to fuck off halfway through this season while we're in the relegation dogfight right now. I think she's going to wait until what the outcome is. Now, I can see that at the end of the season in regards of her. Do you know what I mean? She's one thing, right, and she needs to go, right. But I'd look at Brady like she's a puppet. right? Sullivan's the one that we've got to get to, and we've got to get him out the door. He's the one that's the problem at West Ham. He's a major problem. So for me, I look at it like this, right? If we can get her gone, then the next step is getting him out the door. Now, who's going to take over West Ham? Fuck knows. No idea. Well, I've got no idea who would come in there and take us over with the situation, with the finances and everything. And I've come to sort of the realization right now that West Ham will be selling one big hitter. I think it's going to be Fernandes. I think Fernandes. I think they will spin Fernandes's 40 million into about 70, 80 million, and that will sort of generate the funds. I don't want it to happen, but that's what I'm predicting. I don't think they get rid of Somerville. I don't think Somerville can generate 70 million pounds for Somerville right now. Do you know what I'm saying? When there's bids going in of like 30 million for this kid, I can't see it. But with Fernandes, I can. I generally can. So I think Fernandes is the one that might be sort of collateral damage come the end of the season. If we're in the Premier League, the issue is, and it always has been with me, when it comes to this fucking owner, he doesn't invest no money into the club, and you can't run a business without investment. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to speculate to accumulate, and Sullivan just doesn't do it. He hasn't done it. He never will do it. And I asked Kieran Maguire. Everyone knows who Kieran Maguire is. Like, does all the accounts for all the other clubs, and he's on TV and everything. Yeah. I asked him a question on Twitter, and I said, "Are West Ham in danger of like FFP and this sort of PSR shit?" And he basically turned around and said to me, "West Ham have sellable assets, but what they need to do is they need to have investment from the owners." So we're basically asking the owners to go invest in a club that they don't ever invest in. That's that's a problem, isn't it? Let's be real. That's a huge, huge problem, and that's a problem where, let's be honest, he ain't gonna fucking do it, Sullivan. Do you know what I'm saying? So I am, for me personally, I'm quite pleased that everyone else is doing it. Like Hammers United, Crossed Hammers. I see sort of Gonzo doing his videos on it every day. Right, I'm actually fucking glad, really, that I don't really have to keep banging on about it. Everyone knows my opinion on here. Anyone who's followed the 20 for as long as they have, they know I despise Sullivan. I hate Sullivan with a passion, and I'm not being funny. I'll say it on here because I say what I fucking like. If I could put one in his head and not go to prison for the rest of my days, I'd fucking do it, and it wouldn't bother me at all. Right, I'll do it quite easily, and I feel like what he's done to this club is he's destroyed this club. Right, but the one thing that keeps West Ham going, and the one thing that will always keep West Ham going, is this fan base. And as I've always said, the United has to stand for something. This is not West Ham FC, it's West Ham United FC. And it proves it on so many occasions. When this fan base comes together, right, we're one of the best, if not the best in the fucking world. Do you know what I'm saying? It's what it is. There's a lot of ego in life with people. Everyone always wants better. Some people are piss poor broke. I'm one of the people that are piss poor broke, mate. I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm not a fucking wealthy geezer. I'm not a highly educated geezer, but I'm a sort of bloke that I look at it and I treat everyone on face value and treat everyone with respect. And I'm very old school with morals like that. And in this world of YouTube and social media, and what I've learned with social media is that whatever you want to put out as a narrative, if it builds up sort of interactions, then people are going to keep listening to it over and over again. And for me, I was always trying to say that you have to get Sullivan at the door, right, before we end up going down into the fucking championship. Now, there is a possibility that West Ham could go down this year, right? I don't believe West Ham will go down this year. I've got faith that West Ham are going to get out of this. Yeah, as I say, I've pinpointed the games that I think they're going to win. If they do what I think they're going to do, then West Ham will be fine, 100%. The moment we are fine, we've got to up the ante with this geezer. Yeah, and we've got to make sure that he resigns from his fucking sort of post, or he just fucks off altogether. Do you know what I mean? Like, either way for me, right? I just don't want him running this club anymore. So that's what it has to be. That's what it has to be. And we won't know anything more until the end of the season. Like no one can make any moves right now until the end of the season. And if there is a situation with West Ham right now where West Ham might even have someone lined up, because that's a possibility, right? That is a possibility that someone West Ham could have someone lined up. As I've always said, come out and tell the fans then. Come out and tell us. Like, if you like, you know that the heat is firmly on this geezer, right? I've noticed that the shift in people's opinions have changed. People are mentioning it more. Like, you go out onto the streets, you see the cards. You see the cards thing is an old school thing that was back in the Terence Brown days, yeah. And what it is that the cards is it's like a silent protest, but it's like it's effective. But what it is, he's starting to sort of stop that now. He's asking clubs to stop anyone going in with cards and things like that. So Sullivan's trying to do his absolute best to shut down this sort of majority of West Ham fans who want this geezer gone. I've always said the media is the key to everything. The media is the one. Right, you have to go through the media to get him out, and the more you generate this up, the better it is. But let's hear what West Ham Faithful's got to say. The what's next is what worries me though. I mean, the Biscuit Baron last time. The Biscuit Baron never took us out of our own, mate. Did the Biscuit Baron do anything worse than what Sullivan's done, really? Sullivan's took us out of our own, killed the identity of the club. No one even recognises the club anymore. He's turned the club into a franchise that no one really wants. He's put us into a ground that no one really fancies. We don't own the ground, right? The training ground's a shithole. Like, I'd love to know where the money's gone. If you want me to be honest, I'd love to know where the money has gone deep down. I think the money's gone, right, between all of them. And you know what people say about gold, yeah? And I don't want to speak ill of the dead. I don't. I'm a bit respectful like that. But he's just as bad as Sullivan and Brady for me because he was involved in this. And whether he's a West Ham fan or not, you know what's right and you know what's wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? And he was a part of that. And even the Gold family to a point. There's a reason why the Gold family are struggling to get rid of their shares. Right? I'd love to know the reason why they're struggling. West Ham's a big club. Why don't no one want to come in and take over West Ham or like look to invest in West Ham? Do you know what I'm saying? You got people like KSI buying Dagenham and Redbridge up the road from me, right? So that baffles me, like really, right? Why West Ham are struggling to get rid? If I'm being honest, the reason why they're struggling is because it's minority share is 250 mil. Well, I have to lower it down. How much longer can he last? It looks like a mummified as it is. My fear is this question. Jack Sullivan is the club's future. Imagining this scenario that he decides that, okay, you want me out, right? I'm gonna hand it over to my son and I'm gonna take a step back. To me, that's no further forward for me. If he does that, then Jack's always going to be the man who's going to be the face of it, but Sullivan will be the puppet master behind pulling the strings. That's what it'd be. I want them all gone out of West Ham. Every single one of them. I want Kadinsky gone. Yeah? Because what the fuck does he do? Right? What does Kadinsky do, really? Right? Other than sit there and fucking moan. I want Brady out the door. I want Sullivan gone out the door. I want a complete new board with a new idea, a new philosophy, and ambition. Do you know what I mean? Like, why? I can't believe how hard it is for this club to have a bit of ambition about it. I generally can't. And West Ham should never be in this situation with the ground that they've got. But I'll tell you what it is. The reason is with the ground they've got is because this has been going on. This has been brewing up since COVID, since the beginning part of COVID, with the ticket prices and just the random going out and signing players that were never going to fit. There's no structure at West Ham. Like people say, it's the ground, it's the ground, it's the ground. I think it's the structure more than it's the ground, because if the ground, there's so many issues with the ground, like having away fans in the home end, having football fans who've got um, no affiliation to basically West Ham or the rival team. They just football fans sitting there, and I'm thinking, well, that's a bit wrong. It's not like an all like it's home end. It's not like a neutral end. There's so many issues, and seeing people in the ground on a match day with a Manchester United shirt, and West Ham are playing Burnley, or West Ham are playing fucking Arsenal, it just doesn't make no sense to me. Maybe I'm a fossil or something. I don't know. That never happened at Upton Park, and there's people that will say to you things like that happen at Upton Park. They are fucking lying to your face, absolute lying. Because when I used to go to West Ham, when I used to go to Upton Park, right, there's absolute they would get ripped a new one. They would get like the piss ripped out of them, literally. Like it wouldn't happen. It just would not happen. So yeah, it's not good. Uh, Spurs fans feel the same. Even Bournemouth fans are having a pop at their owners with the handling of the new development and their fans. But one thing with Bournemouth, like Bournemouth and other clubs have got their own problems. Like, but I think it all goes back to ambition for me. Like, what you ambitious about with West Ham? Like for me, the reason why we moved from Upton Park to London Stadium was for a purpose. The purpose was to be a top end side. Now, I'm not saying win the league. I'm not even saying Champions League to a point, but I'm saying at least top 10. Like top 10 is like it can be done. And when you see teams like Brighton, Bournemouth, Brentford in and around that model, and we're bigger than all them sides put together, I look at it and I think, well, obviously we're doing something majorly wrong at West Ham, but we have to be doing something majorly wrong here. That's why the structure I feel is wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? Also, another person that I am going to mention here, it might offend a few people, so I do apologise. Right, if you get offended by this, I do apologise. But where the fuck is Mark Noble in all this? Now, I love Noble, right? I really do. I think Noble is West Ham, Mr. West Ham, and all that game. But where the fuck is this geezer? Because you don't hear nothing from this man, and it feels like to me he's been majorly silenced, like majorly silenced. If you know something's not right, why would you? If it's like me working for someone that I know's a wrong, and surely you've got to have a bit of morals about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where Mark Noble is in all this. I really don't. But Faithful, I bet you had a decent supporters, assume they were all in the home end. It's true. He's ain't shitting on his own porch. He's probably making good money. Yeah, but is it about the money though, mate? That's the thing. You can't. For me, you can't justify being Mr. West Ham and a man of the people, right? And in the end, you're just sitting there and basically it's like hush money, isn't it? Like you don't say nothing. Because I'll tell you what, if Mark Noble come out and said, yeah, it's not right at West Ham, we need to have a major change, this and that, the fan base would believe what he says because he's in that camp. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's nothing against Mark. I really like Mark Noble. Do you know what I mean? I think he's a Canning Town boy. He's done really well. He's come from the youth and all that. I sort of, yeah, I'm all for that. But when I look at him, I want to know why he ain't saying nothing. Like, why has he not come out and said fucking anything of any note? And not even that. It hasn't even got to be against the ownership. Why has he not come out and said about the West Ham situation on how we're going to sort of get out of this? He's literally just gone completely off grid. Do you know what I'm saying? So, um, Do you think moving to a new ground was meant to be the ambitious or just to line the pockets? Yeah, it was to line the pockets, Rob, wasn't it? Let's be honest, mate. We I remember in 2010, they bought the club in 2010, January 2010, right? And I remember someone saying to me they've already got their eyes firmly set on the Olympic Stadium. Because what it was, I used to speak to an MP in and around Barking and Dagenham, and he used to hear like a lot of stuff that was going on over at Stratford. Because obviously, he would speak to people that he was an MP for at the time, and he turned around and said that they was getting rid of everyone from East London, out of Stratford, out of Hackney Wick, everywhere for the Olympics, and that space was always going to be filled. Yeah, come once the Olympics was done, right? So once the Olympics was done, that's when the luxury flats and all that started, and that's why there's so much buildings up there now. Because people were building houses on there because they got rid of everyone out of the area because it wasn't seen to be like the London like view, which was mad. And that's what they done. Like they knew Orient was never going to get their hands on that stadium. They knew it, right? And they knew Spurs wouldn't move from their borough into East London. So it always fell into West Ham's path to say, you know what, all we've got to do is move up the road. I think what was it, 2 mile and a half, 2 mile? I think it is something like that. Up the road, and there you go. You got a stadium. You just rent it. The reason why West Ham are in this situation right now, where it's a bit tricky, is because we can't do nothing to that stadium. That's the problem. We can't do nothing. Like our hands are firmly tied because basically we don't own it. It's like you're renting an house and you want to put a conservatory on the back and build a double-story fucking extension. You can't do it. You just can't do it. So um, they planned this for a hell of a long time. Hell of a long time, mate. And obviously, when they got rid of everyone out at Stratford and Hackney Wick and where was the fucking other place? Maryland, all around that sort of area, Dalston, Hackney. They was, let me get this right so I can tell you, the government was giving them grants to move out. Yeah. They was giving them grants to say, right, we need you to move out. So many people moved out of them areas and moved out to Barking and Dagenham, moved out to Grays and Thurrock, ran that way. Everyone moved out miles out because they had a big grant and got basically given sort of like money to fucking move. Basically, there was one geezer, and I remember this quick. Yeah, there was one bloke whose house was in. I don't know where his house was, but it was up. It was up around that way. I think it was in Tottenham or something. He had a big fuck off house, and they was trying to get him out, and he wouldn't have it. They gave him £500,000. Um, like 500,000 to move. So he's got his house. He's got his house, and they've given him 500,000 to move. You know. One more stand. YouTube did a piece on the stadium move this week. They made a fortune. Yeah. See, everyone's got their own say on it. Obviously, Gary and Chris and all them boys over there have got their say on it. Like I know what I know, and I've always stuck to what I know. Um, I don't really. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, but I don't really listen to anyone else because when people are trying to tell me stuff, I'm like, I used to play a lot of pool in East London. So I used to go around all the pubs and clubs and all that. I used to speak to loads of people, and I used to be up in Leytonstone quite a lot and all around that area. And when you start speaking to people, yeah, on a daily basis, you start really hearing what the fuck is going on. Do you know what I'm saying? So but that's the reason why West Ham are in that stadium. Do you know what I'm saying? And they've had a touch, these owners. Like they've had a right touch. The issue is what are we going to do about it once they've gone? Like for instance, if they was to leave, right? They sell like they say they're leaving West Ham. Fine. It doesn't change the stadium. People, and I'm going to shout him out, but old Lawless keeps thinking West Ham could just go and build a stadium somewhere else. That ain't going to happen, mate. I'm sorry to tell people, but that won't fucking happen. because there's not really many areas in Newham and around that area where you can just go and plonk a 55,000 seat stadium. There isn't, and there's only one area that I think West Ham could do it, and I've looked at it and I thought, yeah, you could do it there. Is Beckton, because there's a little area in Beckton where there's a bit of like marshland and things like that. Other than that, it is fucking congested in East London. The only way West Ham could ever rebuild a stadium is to buy the LS and then remodelize the LS. That's the only way. Get to James. Shout out to James. My mate lived off the back of the Barking Road. They gave him nearly 300,000 for an asset that he bought for £420. Mate, there were so many years ago. There were so many people telling me about that. I mean, like so many, mate, about people moving out and being like given 50 grand, 100 grand to move out. And what it was, there was a lot of people that were getting it because I can't remember what it was. It was because it was so fucking long ago. They were getting it for a reason. Like, I think it was because they were trying to remodernize the area, and the people that were living in the area didn't match what they were trying to do. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, obviously it was a long time ago. It was like 14 years ago. So it was a fucking long time ago. And I remember that and all. I had a Christmas at that place. I used to love the Beckton Alps, mate. Beckton Alps was the move, mate. I remember going there as a young kid on the old ski slopes. Oh, mate, great days, mate. Uh, and it's because of the Olympics, James. Yeah, it's true. It's valid, mate. Used to love the old Beckton Alps. Um, yeah, they gentrified the area using the Olympics to do it. That's what it is, mate. That's what it is. That was it. So there is so much, obviously, that when you go into it, this is this the moment they bought that fucking club, the moment they bought West Ham was the moment they went, right, we're going to get them in that London stadium. And do you know what? I had this sort of discussion with someone the other day, funny enough, before I wrap this up. I had this discussion the other day, and I turned around and said that I don't believe the West Ham fan base would have accepted that move if they was told the truth of how it was going to go around. What it was, they come out and you know when someone like shows you how good it is, like oh, it's like too good to be true sort of situation. That's exactly what happened with West Ham in regards to the London Stadium, right? Fancy video, fancy pitches. The one thing that they was told was getting people over from Upton Park to Stratford, i.e., businesses, the Pie and Mash shop, Queens, things like that. They were all told, the bowling pub, sorry, they were all told that they was going to be moving over there. And then once they moved, they just fucked them all off. That would never have happened, right? Never would have happened if they was told at the start that they wasn't going to move. So they sort of played the fan base, and they fell for the sort of, how can I put it? They pulled on the heartstrings, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what they've done. They pulled on the heartstrings. And the thing is, back then, if you would have been negative about the London Stadium, people would have said, "Oh, you're being negative. You're not seeing the future, right? This is the future." So you was damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, right? People used to say it to me. People used to say it to me. They say, "Oh, Jay, you need to come over there. You need to let this go, right? Upton Park's gone." And I used to say the same thing to him over and over again. I used to say, "I'm telling you, he's fucking going to run us into the ground, this geezer, right?" And the Birmingham fans told us when he took over, the Birmingham fans said, "You want to be careful of him because he will fuck you over." And that's what he's done right now, mate, if I'm being honest. That's what he's done right now. So we need to stay up. We need to fuck him off as soon as possible. Right, before I go, I'm gonna give you a chance now in the old chat. Any questions that you want answering? I'll go for another sort of 10 minutes. Chuck in your questions. I'll do a quick fire question readout, and then that'll be me done for the weekend. So anything you want to say, anything you want to discuss, anything at all. Do you know what I mean? So, chuck your comments in. I will wait and I'll see if we get any come through. Anything you like. Well, wait for that. See what this. Southern doesn't own the majority, it's just less than 50%. The others can gang up on him, but the Golds always back him. Yeah. No more quizzes. There wasn't, mate. No more quizzes. Right. There is no questions. The chat has gone quiet tonight. Right, that's enough from me. I will love and leave you. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to E20 Zone TV. It makes sense. Enjoy your weekend. I will do a video on Sunday night as a little preview for the Brentford game, or I will do the thumbnails and stuff right now. Mark saying Bowen or Fernandez sold next year. It's going to be Fernandez, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I think he's got here too late. But you know what? The show will go on. Don't go nowhere, people, because I've got a guest. I've only been doing this an hour and 15 minutes, but I've actually got a guest. So, you know what? Let's get this person in. Gemma, what are you doing here?
Hello.
You all right, mate? What are you saying? Talk to me.
No, sorry. I just logged off from work and saw you was live, and I was like, shame about the Tottenham. Up the Palace.
I know, mate. I know. Right, what do you make of everything? Talk to me.
Oh, Spurs are done. See ya. See you later, alligator.
Right.
Not a chance. We play with fight and spirit. Forest play with fight and spirit. Those players don't care. They keep getting red cards. Romero, Van de Beek, because they can't be arsed. They don't. They're not built for it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I think Frank was probably doing an okay job considering how many injuries and stuff they had, and they thought, nope, see ya, and now they've got even worse. And good, long may it continue. Long may it continue, because this is what. Carry on.
What do you make of us? Like from Wednesday night. Obviously, Wednesday night was a big result. We got a result.
Listen, if we can grind out a 1-0 win away at Fulham, who have just won 5 games in a row, that's not to be laughed at, by the way.
True.
And it's come down to tiny, tiny margins. We would be so far ahead of Forest and Spurs if it wasn't for those stupid 30 seconds at the end of games when we've conceded a goal to lose 3 points. We would be so far ahead. We wouldn't even be having this conversation anymore. We'd be well out of a relegation scrap.
Yeah.
Well out of it. We'd be comfortably 12th, 13th. Comfortably as well, with I would say probably between 8 to 10 points between us and them, but it hasn't gone that way. But that's not easy. That is not an easy result to hang on to against a team so bang in form.
What it is that obviously on Wednesday night we all went through the grit of it. It's not about
squeaky bum time.
It's not how you play. For me, it's not how you play. It's how you win.
Yeah,
it's about winning now. Performances, people can analyse the performances to the cows come home, but performances don't keep you in the league. Results do. I was really happy on Wednesday night, obviously because we got the result, and I felt like we're starting to do what I need us to do in regards of picking up results and all that. I'm going to ask you something, Tim. Yeah, where do you think this has come from, though? Because 2 months ago, we was all sitting here on that, and never forget that afterthought, where we all sat there and we all thought it was over. Like, Forest had just beat us 2-1, and I thought we was done. Like, where the fuck has this come from over the last 2 months for you?
Paqueta leaving. And it's not a coincidence. I'm not having. It is not a coincidence, because the second he's gone, the whole team is this. Just we're so so different without his dark cloud hanging over everyone. And wasn't there a report that he used to walk around saying that he was our best player and stuff like that? That's going to rub up our honest hard workers the wrong way. Okay, Souček has his limitations, but he cares and he fights and he'll throw himself in front of everything that he possibly can to help us dig deep to get the results. Lucas doesn't have that about him. Has no integrity about him with that. The same Bowen may be carrying a knock, but he's trying. He's not, things that he's trying are not coming off. Okay. He has enough credit in the bank for everybody just to back off a little bit with him. Fernandez is a revolution since Paquette has left as well in the midfield.
Yeah.
He's a completely different player now. Completely different to when he was playing alongside Lucas than he is now. It's just, it might just be coincidence, but I don't know.
I agree. Yeah, at the time I felt like he was jumping ship, but I think looking back at it now, it might be one of the best moves West Ham's ever done. Like getting rid of him, because having a player in there, and I remember people digging out people that wanted him out the door. People were coming at me saying, "Oh, like every time we get a good player, fucking you want him out the door, James." And I'm like, "No, I want players who are committed." I feel like this team right now is committed to the cause. Everyone is pushing in the same direction. Everyone knows exactly everyone knows what they've got to do, right? Everyone knows what the job in hand is. And I felt like Paqueta was a man who, the moment he got the all clear, he wanted to have it on his toes out of Europe and out of West Ham. That's what I believe, if I'm honest. And
when did he get cleared?
He got cleared.
Was it just after the summer transfer window closed?
I think it was. It was saying. I think it was like I think it was September time. I think it was August, September time. Because I remember the celebration that he done at Forest away. Even then, there was a potential that he could have went in the summer then. So, yeah, listen, I think Paqueta leaving's major. I think the signings have come in. I'm not. What do you think on Nuno, Jem?
We're never going to be happy, are we? There's always going to be something to nitpick about,
right?
Always. And I think I said it to you on your TikTok the other day. It's the amount of defenders he's packing out on that bench. You have to. We do not need 5 or 6 defenders on the bench. It is ludicrous. Like, I appreciate him bringing in the academy boys and stuff. He's done a really good job, probably better than any other manager we've had in recent times.
Yeah,
with the academy players, you have to give credit where it's due with that. But Ezra Myers, why are we not swapping him for like Josh Ajala, let's say, just to have another attacking options, especially since we're so light with Pablo out.
Yeah, but is that him though? But is that him, or is that? Because I look at the people like the coaches who are on the bench with him, right? Because don't forget, Jimenez is his like sort of right-hand man at the minute. But these coaches have all been there and they've all seen the youth grow up, basically. I agree with you. Why ain't there an attacker on the bench who might come on, like an Ajala, for instance? Like, yeah. I don't get that one either, if I'm being honest.
No, we don't. We got to, because when you need to change a game, we've seen how many times when we go to a back 5 to try and cling on to a 1-0, that's normally when we concede. Yeah. It doesn't work. And Jared said after our game against Fulham, like sitting back and trying to defend doesn't work for us. We're better off being on the front foot and trying to score and stuff like that. So he knows as well. So hopefully that's been relayed to like Nuno and stuff, just have to stop being so defensive sometimes. Look where it got us against Liverpool.
Yeah, but the thing is with Liverpool,
that was a freak result, weren't it?
Yeah, but the thing is with Liverpool, we was never going to win at Liverpool because we just don't win at Liverpool. Like it's just happens every year. Let's get to Javier. You think that Nuno stays and gets more decisions power next season if West Ham avoid relegation? That's a fucking good question, mate. I think you've got to give him a clean slate. If he keeps us in the league, you've got to give him a clean slate, and you've got to see what he can do. The only thing with Nuno, there's two things that I've got a bit of a problem with Nuno right now. First off, the Adama Traore signing. That's that, and people say, right, and this is where people lose me, right? That's his signing.
Yep.
Right, he's the man that he wanted at Forest and he wanted at West Ham, and he got his signing. Since he's come in, he's been a shower of shit. He hasn't done anything of any note other than throw fucking Cucurella around like a rag doll at Stamford Bridge. Right, simple as that. That's one of the issues I've got with him. The other thing I've got with him a little bit is this sort of defensive sort of mould that he goes into. The moment West Ham looked like they can't score another goal. Now he's learned that. He has learned, because the other day he took off to Debo, brought Mavropanos on. He didn't go with a back five.
No, that was like for like, innit?
That was like for like. So he was shoring it up, keeping it the same, but just bringing on a fresh pair of legs, basically.
Fresh concentration as well.
Yeah, and he's learning that basically when we was 1-0 up, he was telling them to get the ball in the corner. Don't look for the second goal. You know, it is, you know, like there's little things with him that concern me. But one thing I've got to give him credit for is how he's turned this around and got us level on points with Forest. You've got to respect it. And not only are we level on points, we should be above these teams. Right, let's be real. We should be above these teams, right? There's been fuck ups with us where Chelsea, Manchester United's the one also where that should be another 2 points. We should be out of this relegation zone and really 3 points clear of it, really, but we're not. Yeah, so you got to look at it and go, fair enough. He's done a good job. Come the summer, if West Ham are a Premier League side, I think you've got to give him a transfer window to see what he can do and go around it in a way that says, right, you've got to back this man because he kept you in the league, right? And the one thing we can't keep doing, and we can't, and this is the difference between generations for me, because people want style of play. I want West Ham Premier League football. That's what I want. And style of play with me, I don't care if you're a counter-attacking side, possession-based side. If you're good at what you do, right, and we win games of football, who gives a shit? Like, who cares? No one generally cares, right? So for me, I feel like you got to give him a clean slate. What do you think, Gemma?
Yeah, no, I think, well, even if we go down, I think we should keep Nuno.
Right.
I think he unless he walks, I don't think he should be sacked if we I don't think we're gonna go, but if we do, I think we should honour his contract and see if he can bring us back up.
Right.
Because why not? We need to give him license to clear the decks a little bit more, because I think we still need a bit of a refresh in that squad. We definitely need to be having a look at some midfielders, because Sullivan's put us in a hole. Someone 1, 2, 3, 4 are going to have to be solved. There is nothing that we can do to avoid that. Now, it's whether we can replace it adequately enough, which has always been our problem. Especially over the last 3 seasons, we've sold, and we haven't bought adequately enough.
Yeah, but what money do we have to generate? And ask this to the chat, right? Because this is quite interesting. So how much money do we have to generate in order to sort of, like, because you just said 4 players have to be sold, right? So how much money?
I would say, Ben, it depends on how much you're selling them for. If we can get 100 million for Fernandes, I think that would be enough.
Right. So Harry says they're 100 million that we've got to raise, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. So for me, Fernandes is gone at the end of the year, end of the season. Whatever situation West Ham are in, he's gone. Right.
But I think that's because we have to. I think if we stay up, I think he'd probably like to stay with Nuno.
I think West Ham will cash in on him now because he's only one injury away from his value going down. Right. Yep. West Ham, and I love Fernandes. Listen, I knew when we signed him he was going to be mustard. West Ham need to look at it and really attack the Championship market. Right. West Ham, and I think Fernandes will go. I can't see. I don't think Bowen goes. People say about selling Bowen. I think you're mad, right? He's having a shit season, really, from his standards, but he's not a bad player. He's not. Uh, who else is there really that you can go and flog? Like Fulkrug will be gone.
Diouf.
Diouf.
People will be watching him, and he's
Yeah.
improved defensively lately.
Diouf is the player that if you want to sell someone that you signed for sort of 19, 20 million and you can sell him for pretty much treble the value,
Yeah.
right, then he would be the guy. And if someone said to me right now, you got a choice between Diouf or Fernandes, who do you want to get rid of? I'll be getting rid of Diouf, if I'm being honest. Well, listen, I love Diouf, yeah, but for me, Fernandes is the guy that you build a side around.
Absolutely.
Whereas,
I agree.
Whereas Diouf is a player that if you look hard enough, you can find them sort of players all around Europe. Like no one knew who Malik Diouf was at Slavia Prague, right? And we managed to get him here. Do you know what I mean? So for me, there's generating funds, which I understand, right? They're going to have to invest some dough, mate.
They're not going to. All they do is borrow against future money, and this is why we are in the situation that we are in now, because they keep borrowing and not putting in their own money. Kretinsky, we got, what was it, 3 billionaires on the board? Sullivan, Kretinsky, and Tripp Smith. They can if they wanted to. They obviously just don't want to. So it's all going to come down to selling our most prized assets, which is obviously Bowen, Fernandes, Diouf, Todibo. You could put Todibo in there. I think he's been mustard over the last few weeks. What a player he is.
I don't think for me, I would try and get Disasi and Todibo together next year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. Disasi won't cost bundles. People think he's going to be costing bundles. He won't.
Oh, he was in Chelsea's bomb squad.
Right. Chelsea will get rid of him for peanuts. Right. I can see that happening.
But then they're 350 million in debt. I wouldn't say peanut. They'll try and squeeze us.
Oh yeah, they will try and squeeze something out of it. But when I say peanuts, like it ain't going to be as much as like Max fucking Gilman. Let's put it like that.
How much do we sell him for? Because he's going to have to go. We can't have him on another. How long has he got left on his contract? 5 years at the end of this season on 120 grand a week.
Yeah,
he's got to go.
Well, what it is, there's so many sort of situations like with even like James Ward-Prowse, Nicholas Fulkrug,
Got to go.
Alvarez,
I would let Nuno assess that before saying yes or no. Nuno, he didn't work with Nuno,
right?
So we have to maybe give him a chance to come back in pre-season and talk to Nuno and see what's going on. Although he was never the quickest anyway, and I think that's where we've really struggled in the middle of the park anyway, is just Souček, Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, all of them just got ran past.
There is a lot of issues, don't get me wrong, but it's basically, what do you do? Do you try and get rid of all the deadwood that you've got, integrate the youth in, and hope West Ham can start next year? Or do you go and get rid of 2 players to sort of reboost like the finances and then try and go out and get some players from the Championship? Now, it's an interesting one, mate. I'm not really looking at the summer at the minute because the summer's like very far away because we're surmising where we're going to be.
Yeah. See, Wolves, because they were so far adrift in the winter in January, they started prepping for the Championship.
That's what I'm saying.
So, and they've got them all playing, like Rob Edwards has got them all playing really, really well now. So I think they're definitely going to go down anyway, but they've pre-planned ahead for next season. So they're already a step ahead of us if we go down. They're already ahead of us now because they've recruited preparing for next season anyway, where we haven't. It was throw money at it and let's hope Nuno can turn it around. But fortunes have been in our favours with other results lately. So,
right, let me ask you a question. Would you sell Bowen?
Would I sell him?
Yeah.
No.
So if a bid, because I see someone say there 60 million for Bowen, yeah, I don't think a club's coming in for 60 million for a 30-year-old, because I think he's going to be 30 soon. Yeah, I might be wrong on that, but I think he's nearly 30. I think Bowen. Like, do you well, first off, do you sell him? Like, yeah, he's 29, so he's going to be 30 at the end of the year. All right, December the 20th. Like, I don't think you can afford to sell this geezer.
Well, where do you replace his goals from?
That's
And I know he's been a bit dry lately, and I don't. I'm people will just want to be on his back all the time. But he is our most clinical finisher. But he is being deployed all wrong. And I said that to you. I tweeted it the other day. Aaron needs to stop running inside. He needs to overlap outside so Bowen can give him the ball and he be the one moving inside so he can shimmy on his left foot and have a pop at goal.
Yeah.
Aaron is taking the spaces that Bowen should be going in. Now, Somerville has Diouf, who overlaps. He doesn't come inside. He goes on the outside so Somerville can come inside. This is why Somerville's getting his goals now. That right-hand side is not functioning very well. And I would be in two minds to maybe give Kyle Walker-Peters a game with Bowen over Aaron to just to have a look at that. Because Diouf and Somerville are fine now. They've got that connection. And you saw when Bowen had Soufal would always go on the outside of him to let him come inside.
Yeah.
I
would agree with you. Do you know what, Gemma? I'd actually agree with you on that. I wouldn't even mind seeing that on Monday night.
Yeah,
like, just to see what Kyle Walker-Peters can do with Bowen, because for how much people love Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and they do. Fuck me, don't I know it? Some of the people.
Why? Never covers the far post. Always out of position. So many goals have been conceded where he is lazy, even trying to run back to cover the far post. There is so many mistakes in his game, and you have to one-on-one. If someone's running at him, mate, I love him because you know he's gonna scoop, and that's his game. But when we are in our defensive shape, he's not. And I think even against Fulham, we got let off with one because he was so far out of position.
Yeah, I know,
and
mate.
He didn't bust a gut to get back. All right,
James. James is here. Right, James, what do you want to say, mate? Take it away.
All right, I was just, listen, I weren't going to call because I was eating Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? But here is the thing, right? Come the summer, they're going to try and get rid of Fulkrug, Cornet, Alvarez.
Oh my God, Cornet!
Yeah, I know. You got people forget that we still own him, right? And what it is you've got to work out that then probably between them players, you'd be lucky to get, let's say, 35, 40 million for all of them, right? Forget what we paid for them because that's irrelevant. And then after that, they've got to try and get rid of, what's his name, the 40 million pound defender who's worth about £3.5. He's got to go.
Yeah.
You know, and what'll happen is they will have to, listen, you do not want them selling Fernandes, Bowen, or Somerville. You really don't. We need to try and keep them players. Otherwise, all you're doing is you're going to roll into next season and we're going to be staring the same thing in the face, relegation again. And you know, who needs, like me at my age, I don't need that anymore. It's like, I'll tell you, watching that Fulham game the other night, and I spoke to you after, James, you know, I went through so many emotions in that game. I was literally sitting here looking through my fingertips at the telly thinking, for fuck's sake, when's this referee going to blow the whistle? You know, like, my heart was pounding. I can't take it.
What it is, James, is that we're in a situation where we're going to have to sell one of them. I think if you're going to generate funds, right, you've got to sell one of the big hitters. Now, Fernandes is the one really that if you want to sell him, you can go and sell him and you can double your money right within an instant. Like, we paid £40 million for this geezer.
You definitely could. You definitely could. But how do you replace him, James? Because you know what it is, right? He's only 21, that fella. He's only going to get better and better.
I agree with you. 100%. But what it is, this is the argument I had in the summer with West Ham fans. I was saying we need to sign this geezer because we can double our money on this geezer quickly. And people were saying, yeah, you can't pay £40 million out for a championship player. And I said, you fucking can, and you know he's that good. The issue we've got is that we're going to have to sell someone. Now, I don't think you sell Bowen, right? Because I think that's fucking madness, right? There's selling Bowen and then there's taking Bowen off captaincy. Right, I want Bowen off captaincy, so he's just a footballer again instead of having the fucking weight of the claret and blue on his shoulders. I think that's what's bringing him down. Yeah, I think that if you're going to sell a player to generate funds, it's either going to be Fernandez or Diouf. I think Diouf's the more easier one to sell.
James. I've got to be honest with you, I don't see him taking the captaincy off of Bowen. I just don't. Not that I think he's a great captain. I don't. I agree. I'm not sure it would be a wise thing to do. But I mean, listen, I agree with you, and I agree with what Gemma said. You know, Bowen in the last, I don't know, at least 8 to 10 games, he ain't cutting inside on that left foot anymore. And swinging the ball towards the far post. Now he's trying, like, all of a sudden he's turned goal provider and he's crossing all the time. And like what she said, like Wan-Bissaka is cutting on the inside and he's feeding the ball to him. But you want like Bowen, you know, he's probably one of the best finishers in the Premier League. I'm not saying he's one of the best wingers, but he's one of the best finishers. He's deadly in front of goal.
Well, what it is, I asked Gemma this year, right? Mm-hmm. What it is that we have to do a Bournemouth, a Brighton, and a Brentford. We have to go out and find players that no one's heard of. Like when you look at Brentford, they knew when they was getting rid of Ivan Toney that Thiago was their guy. Yeah, like they'd already had it lined up. I just hope West Ham. The problem is with West Ham right now, we don't know what fucking league we're going to be in. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the problem where we're at the minute. Like, it's one of them ones where do we go in the Championship, and then what we are going to get is a lot of people that are, you know, who are from clubs that are sort of trying to like rejuvenate their career. Right, we're going to get a lot of has-beens really if we go into the Championship. Right, we're going to bring that with the element of youth into there. If we're in the Premier League, West Ham need to go out into Europe and find the next Magassa, the next fucking Fernandez, and really like target like Belgium, Holland, Portugal, parts of Spain, parts of Italy, because they are there. Like, do you know what I mean? Because fucking Brentford find them and Bournemouth find them. Bournemouth, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I believe, Jen. What are you saying?
You know who runs this football club, right? As much as we would love to be a Brentford and a Brighton and a Bournemouth and have a clear strategy with recruiting players, unless they're Salthouse or Nuno Mendes, it doesn't matter. With Nuno and Sullivan at the wheel, it is completely irrelevant. It don't matter. Now, Nuno Mendes has good players on his books. He built a superb Wolves side with Nuno like that. It's fine. But that Pablo deal is dodgy as hell, for one. Something ain't right there either. And I feel like we're always just going to be that. And again, till the top changes, nothing will change. We just got to hope for the best.
Yeah.
If we manage to stay up, I'm positive. I think we will. Then we got to try and keep as much of our core together as possible because we can't replace that all in one window. Imagine if we went and sold Bowen, Somerville, Fernandez, and Diouf all in one hit. Who are we replacing them with?
I don't think they would do it in one hit. I don't. I think they would do one signing, one player out of that three, and get rid of all the deadwood. So you're looking at your James Ward-Prowse, your Alvarez, your Cornet, your Fulkrug, anyone else who's on loan who's basically no good. Max Kilman would be gone.
Right, Souček is going to be in the last year of his contract. What do we do?
I think you have to keep Souček because Souček ain't going to cost you a fortune to be here. Like,
give him a new deal or let him leave for free.
I'll give him a new deal and say, right, he's going to be like a bit part player, right? The thing is that with Fernandez, it's a tricky one because I agree with what James says that we have to keep him here because his value will go up even more over the next 12 months. Like, imagine if you keep him here for another 2 years, he could be a Declan Rice £100+ million player.
Better.
Like,
he's better already at this age. He will be a better player.
That's what I'm saying.
Declan,
He,
what's he,
his
27 now,
work rate,
28?
His work rate's unbelievable, James.
yeah, his work rate is like second to none. Like his work rate is as much as what Declan Rice's was when we got rid of him. The only thing I would say in Fernandez's favour is he's a better passer. You
Yeah.
know, he's got a better
Yeah.
vision. I'm
Yeah.
not saying defensively he won't never touch Rice as long as he lives, but everything else. I mean, he's good defensively, but I mean, Rice was exceptional in that field, wasn't he? So
Oh, his
you
positioning
you
is.
give him that, you give him the kudos for that. But what I was going to say is, you have to look at the wages that all of these players that we're going to get rid of. Fulkrug's on over 100 grand a week.
Mhm.
Alvarez, I think he's on about 90 grand a week.
Yeah.
Cornet was on good wages. Don't remember, we paid 17 million for Cornet. He's been out on loan for 3 years. Like he's bought and paid for by now. You know what I mean? Like anything you get for him is a
Yeah.
bonus. You know,
Well,
Well,
the one that worries me is Max Kilman, because we paid 40 million for him, like on a 7-year deal. And in all honesty, like, and I put this question to anybody: what do you honestly think we're going to get from him? I know people, you know, he's had a bad time, his confidence is down, and all that. But realistically,
right.
if you was running a club and you wanted a defender, and they turn around and went, right, Max Kilman's for sale, tell me, you know, both of you answer it.
What it is,
How
I'll
much would
tell you
you
what.
offer?
I'll tell you what the problem that we got with Kilman is that where the contract's so long, he has all the power, and
yep.
West Ham have no fucking power in this. Right, he can sit there and go, right, I'm gonna keep my contract at what I've got, unless West Ham literally let him go for fuck all. Right, for instance, it also depends on the player and all, because if Kilman wants to play football and he wants to be a first teamer, then basically he would have to make the move out, right? But the problem is he holds all the power, right? Because some dumb fucking idiot decided that 7-year deal for Max Kilman was the right move, which is absolutely
Sullivan?
Yeah, but they done 7-year deals to try and circumvent PSR, didn't they? They was like, oh, if we
yeah.
do that, we're only paying so much a year. And it turned out not to be such a clever thing, because Chelsea were doing 10-year deals for some of
The
their
thing is,
players
James,
a
the thing
while
is,
back.
right? The thing is, Kilman's not going to generate the funds that we need, right, in order to sell him, right? If someone said to me right now, right, you've got 4 centre halves next season, right? You've got Tadibo, Disassi, Mavropanos, and Kilman. I'm happy with that. That's 4 centre halves there. You can play a different range of styles. Obviously, you want Tadibo and Disassi as your 2 boys, right? That I would accept Kilman here, because I don't think no one's going to pay the money for what we want for him. Do you know
He'll
what I
be
mean?
going
So,
out on loan. He'll be going out on loan in the summer.
I don't know, because well, like, can I see West Ham going and getting rid of Kilman and bringing another defender? They might do.
I honestly don't
Uh,
think
uh,
so. Like it's a really difficult one. Like just that one on its own, the Kilman one. You're gonna have the same
yeah.
problem with Fulkrug. We give 20 odd million for him. AC Milan have already turned around and said they don't want him. Come the end of the season, he's coming back. You know, Nuno's not going to want him, because he wouldn't have
No.
let him go on loan in the first place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, we've got some really big hurdles to overcome. I mean, listen, I watched that show this morning with Gio and the numbers guy. I can't think of his name, but
Yeah.
like they
Oh,
said,
Kieran
West Ham are
Maguire.
losing. Yeah, that's him. West Ham are losing 2 million a week. Like if you get them few players off your books, that saves you £500,000, like £500,000 a week. Now you're only losing 1.5 million a week, and you're going to have the TV money, but we need to stay up. Like, and I know that money's already gone and spoken for, because of how badly run we are. Like, to take all them payday loans. I mean,
But this was
it's
being
just
said,
mental.
right? This was being said for a long time, mate. Like, I remember doing spaces on X, and people were turning around saying to me about these payday loans, and even a gentleman who I ain't gonna name is on social media, a very negative guy, but but he sent me something via DM, and he was telling me like this is what it is in regards to these payday loans. So for me, I've accepted that one of them's going to go. It all depends on what one that we want out the door, right? To help us for the future. The way I look at it is that no one's bigger than the club, yeah. And listen, when Kudus went, I was fuming because right, we sold him to fucking Spurs, yeah.
They're getting relegated.
Now, for me, when it comes to selling one of these players right now, I think if you had to pick a player that's going to generate the value, you're either going to go for Fernandez or Diouf. Now, Diouf, I think Diouf could go for about 60 mil. I really could, right?
Do you think that much, James? I don't know.
Not
I think
this year.
someone.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Yeah, but
I
the
really
problem
do.
is even if you went for 50 mil, right, you're cutting the debt in half, right? I don't really want Fernandez to go because obviously your spine of your side can be dealt with. And let's be real, Skulls done all right when Diouf was
You
away.
do you think they might sell a few out of the youth teams? You know, like the ones that they've brought into the first team,
Oh,
like
pure
over
profit.
this year.
It wouldn't
Yeah,
surprise me.
like because you never know what. I'm not being funny. You never know what these slippery bastards are really thinking, because like they do the strangest of things. Like I said, like how many times, James, just on your show here, how many
Yeah.
times have we turned around and said they've never put a penny in since the day they bought the club, and we have said that, and it is true. But people still sit there and they don't believe it, and do you know? I some people still support the dwarf. Some do.
It's, it's it's mad. It is mad. I must admit. Like for instance, I know what you're saying. Someone like a Kante, for instance, didn't cost us bundles from Paris FC, I think it was. If we was to sell him for say 20 million to a club in France, like like we can get round it. Obviously,
Nah, he
whatever.
looks a beast, man. I would be keeping him.
You see, that's the thing. Like, but it's where you
Yeah,
want to go with it.
I would as well. You're right what you're saying, but we don't know what they like. You don't know what they're thinking. They might be thinking, well, if we can get rid of the Deadwood and some of these kids, we might just be able to clear a big chunk of it and be able to have look, you've got to have this is like years ago, right? I'm a lot older than you, right? But years ago you only had one sub. Like now you got,
Yeah.
what is it, 8 or 9 subs on the bench. So like you've got to have all these people. You can't just look at our bench this year. Our bench is so bad. Like that, we've got 5 defenders on there. It was like when under Moyes when we had 3 goalkeepers. You used to sit there and think like, how the fuck are you going to use 3 goalkeepers? Like that's not going to happen. But it's because there's a lack of quality that you can use. And there was
Goalkeeper. Oh, sorry. While
Go
we're on
on.
goalkeepers, what do we do with Areola in the summer?
I think he'll be
Areola will be gone, mate.
Yeah, I think he'll be gone.
And
He's on
he's be down to his
£125 a
last
week.
year. This is last year in his contract as well. So
Yeah.
I would assume that we would sell him. But realistically, what are we going to get for him?
You just asked the question that I was going to say. Probably 8 to 10 million.
8 to 10 mil, isn't it?
That's what I reckon.
Do you know what? It is mad that we're going through it, and when you look at the players that we could sell, like when we bought someone like Edson Alvarez for like 30 million, are we going to get that 30 million back? Probably not. Probably going to get 10 million.
What's Fenerbahce's option to buy? 20, innit?
Nah, what it is?
No, they're not going to. They're not going to buy.
Yeah, not going.
He's just had ankle surgery, I believe.
Yeah.
I think he'll get sent back to West Ham, and I believe we'll probably sell him because we've had him since Moyes was in charge, right? So you can imagine he's almost paid off because they do everything on the never, never, right? So you got to think if they can get 25 mil for Alvarez, that'll help. I reckon you'll get 8 to 10 for Fulkrug, 8 to 10 for Areola.
Yeah, but what it is
5 million
is that,
for Cornet.
yeah, like we ain't gonna like the way I look at it is if we can't get rid of them for the money that we want, don't get rid of them. But if Fulkrug wants out, then he's going to have to go and find a club who's prepared to pay at least minimum 10 mil or 8 mil for him. Do you know what I mean? Don't be giving these
Yeah, you know,
giving these
you're
away.
right, but how do you cut James that wage bill? We've already been cutting the wage bill by getting players like Rodriguez and all that. But
There's
the
two in
wage
there.
bill's got to be cut further.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's two there, right? Where two of them are big, basically on big wages. First one is Areola. Areola's on the huge wages, yeah. Him, James Ward-Prowse, Alvarez.
That's another one. What would we get for James Ward-Prowse?
Nothing.
In all honesty,
Nothing.
10 mil.
well, I don't want to say nothing, but maybe 10. You might get 10 million for him. We paid 30 for him, didn't we?
I think he comes back at the end of the loan, and West Ham will try and loan him out again next season, because he's another one, right? The problem is where this is shifted around, where it's more player power than anyone, is the fact that where the contracts are so long, the players have the power to say, you know what, we're going to sit here and we're going to wait right until we get a better offer. Now, don't forget, Ward-Prowse is on what, 125 grand a week at West Ham. That's That's fucking mental. Like when you think about it, and you got the likes of Fernandez, Somerville, and not even half of that, I don't think. I think Somerville's on about 80, I think, 70 80 million, I think. 70, 80,000. So, you know, like there's a lot of issues at West Ham, and we might have to go back to having like a basic squad. Do I think we're going to do all right next season? Who knows? Like, let's make sure we get this season done first. But for me, this ownership has to invest. That's the problem, right? If the ownership invested into the club, then we'd be fine. No one would have anything to worry about. I mean that. They wouldn't have nothing to worry about. But because the ownership don't invest in this club, that's where the problem is, right? We need investment. They've either got to invest into the club, that's either Kadinsky, Sullivan, or the gold side of it, or they've got to go and get investors. Go and get investors who can come in and want to invest in the club.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've got a question, right? And anyone can answer this, people in the chat, whatever, right?
Yeah.
How do you think they talked Kretinsky into investing into this club if he didn't think he was going to earn money out of it? Because he ain't invested to lose money, right? He had the option he's chucked 18 million away because he could have bought up all the other shares at the money. So he's obviously looked at it and gone, fuck that, I'm not fucking putting my money in. So they've sold him a pup, basically, and said to him, you'll get loads of money out of this. He might have seen some money, but he certainly ain't seen back what he. And David Sullivan basically blew his £100 million away on players that weren't no good. We have wasted so much money on.
It's not about but the thing is, I'm going to say this, it's not about signings, because you can go out and you can find a Disassi out there. Like, let's be honest, you can go out and find a player who's at a club like a Chelsea, Arsenal, United, who's sitting there not playing any games, might be in the bomb squad, and you can go in there and get them, and their talent is going to be better than what we've currently got. So I'm not worried about that. What I'm more concerned about is that who they're going to sell in order to do that, if that makes sense. Like that's the problem. It's who's going out before who's coming in. So, you know, it remains to be seen on that. Right, James, any final words from you before I let you go, mate?
No, mate, listen, it's been a great show and I've enjoyed having a chat with you and Gemma. I weren't even going to call in, like I said, when you started talking about the players and who's going to go, I just thought, I've got to say something because it bugs the shit out of me, you know, it really does. Honestly, I've been supporting West Ham for 50 years. It's driving me mad. Like, I drive my missus mad with it. And I just want to say one thing right quickly before I go. See all these players like what's happening at Tottenham. I don't know whether you've been listening to TalkSport at all, right? But Tottenham, their players have given up. They don't give a shit. And they was even saying on there today, there ain't no players from Tottenham, from the local area, no one who wears that badge and pulls that fucking shirt on and goes, you know what, I'm proud. And that's what's going wrong with the Premier League. We keep buying all these fucking Johnny foreigners. You want someone from fucking Mile End playing, like, you know what I mean, who's actually going to give a fuck about the club, like a Mark Noble. And,
Yeah,
and
but
you
you
was
know,
talking about
I'm glad
Noble
though.
earlier.
I'm glad that they
Oh yeah, it
haven't.
works for us.
Yeah, but the thing is with us, it always does work for us, doesn't it? We always seem to find one in the academy. So you know,
Or just
I'm,
Yeah,
keep
no,
Spurs where
I'm just
they
saying,
are.
but Tottenham are in, like, they're in as much trouble as we are, if not more. You know, and you sit there and, like, I was listening to that, and I was thinking, you know what? They're right. They ain't got no one from the local area in there. So that Archie Gray might be one,
No,
but
he's
look,
from
like the rest
Leeds.
of them,
it's
He's
from
from
Leeds,
Leeds
mate.
Academy.
Yeah,
is he? Look,
Yeah.
like the rest of them don't seem like they give a flying fuck whether Tottenham win, lose, go up, stay down. Like you know that Van de Ven guy. Like these people are paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. You expect them to give a shit, don't you? It ain't like they're earning 200 quid a week working in a factory driving a forklift. Then you
listen,
don't
mate.
give a shit.
Listen, if I was earning that money, I'd be over the moon. I really would. Right,
Fuck
Also,
me,
James.
that's also Spurs'
James.
problem is they know full well if they're relegated, half of them can leave for a cut price.
Yeah,
Spurs will
it is true.
demand at least 80 million for Van de Ven if they stay up. They get relegated, he's off for 30 to 40. So it works in the players' favour just as much as everybody else for them to get relegated because they're gone for a cut price and there's
Listen,
nothing that Spurs can
I'll
do
pull
about
me
it.
boot. I'll pull me boots on and go and play for West Ham for a monkey a week. There you go.
There you go, West
Anyway,
Ham. West Ham, you got a centre half.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's been James. Jem, any final words from you?
No, I'm all good. We'll have another catch up soon.
No worries. You take it easy. That's been Gemma. That's been everyone. Right, I'm leaving now. Right, I'm going to say this because it was half hour ago. I was going to leave. I was going to leave on the hour and a half mark. Then two people come in, and with me, I don't like to sort of leave them. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, smash a like on the video. Subscribe to E20 Zone TV. You know it makes sense. Hit the like button. It always goes a long way. Gets the video out there. People watch it. People might like it. People might subscribe to it. And I'll be back on Sunday. I'll be doing a little preview on Sunday. Then Monday night is the big night. Watch along after full player ratings, the full shebang yet again. We go again. And then Cheltenham next week, ladies and gentlemen. If you like your horses and all that, I'll be doing a watch along every day on that. Because I've got the whole next week off. And I'm like, right, Cheltenham, we love it. Last year was good. Good bit of banter in the chat last year. Hopefully it's like that this year and all. Anyway, that's enough from me. Take care of yourselves out there. Be good, be well, be safe. Spurs, we're coming for you. Peace.